All right, everybody. Good Tuesday. Look at this live view. Beautiful camera. I love this new camera shot that we've got from the World War I National Museum and Memorial, and it is clear. It is calming down. We had all that wind over the past couple days, and now the next phase is the chilly air that comes in, and it's the coldest that we've had so far this fall. All right, so this first time that we can really use the word cold because the threshold's kind of in the 30s. So to me, you hit 30s, you can call it cold. Now, is it going to be frigid? No. But this has been an unusually warm fall so far. And remember, last week we were in the 80s, and we flipped that switch, and now we are seeing lows in the 30s on the way. So I've got Facebook open. If you have comments or questions, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer anything I can for you. You can post them right there. Once I pull my graphics up, I won't be able to see them, but I'll get to them by the end of the video, so you can get a hold of me there. So we're talking about the cold for now, how long that's going to last, how cold it goes, who's most likely to see frost, all of that. We've got some really, really nice weather ahead too. So I want you to see that. And then we're watching two systems. I'm tracking two different systems that look to bring a rain threat to us, or a chance for some showers that could impact what you've got going on in your life. So I want to give you the updates with those. So let's hop to it. All right. So here's what's going on, and this is what has changed for us, is the gate to the Arctic, the gate to the north has opened up. And while we had been for much of the fall and all the way up until about last week, been fighting off cold fronts, now they're coming through. And you're getting one right after the other. And the one that we pass through, as we go through tonight, is one that's got some pretty good pop to it. In fact, this thing is going to go all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to pass through Florida. They'll get their first little taste of fall too. But now we have opened up the gate, and that cool air that's up north in Canada can start to spill down our way. So by tomorrow morning, we're going to be at about 38 in Kansas City. That's the first 30s of the season, and it's been a while since you have felt temperatures like that. In fact, it's been about 6 months and a week ago, back on April 15, back all the way into April, about a half a year ago, since we've been that chilly. Now, the most likely places that we could see some frost, if you're concerned about your plants, there's not a high chance that we could have some patchy frost. It's not impossible around Kansas City. It's likely, or more likely in the north, where we have these blue shadings. All right, so that's northern Missouri, extreme southeastern Nebraska, and spots like that. So if you've got sensitive plants and you're watching us from up there, then you may want to cover them up or bring them in, something to protect them from some of that frost. It's more likely. Now, this is the rest of this evening. All right, so temperatures are going to be tumbling in Kansas City. The wind is dying down as we speak. All right, so it's going to be like 10 to 15 miles per hour up until about 10, 11, and then it's going to drop off to like 5 to 10, and then temperatures just radiate to outer space. Everything cools off. It's what we call radiational cooling, and we've got a really good setup for that tonight. So 50s turn to the 40s by about midnight or a little bit before, and then eventually, and for only a couple hours, we're going to be in the upper 30s. So just planning ahead to tomorrow, how are we getting dressed for your Wednesday? Probably wearing something you haven't broken out in a while, your coat, your jacket. I have not used mine yet. I've also not turned my heat on. I don't know if we'll do that tonight or not. I kind of love not having anything on for the house. No heat, no air. Just let it, open the windows in the day, close them up at night. I don't know. We'll see. But the afternoon, we're going to warm it up by a lot. We don't typically see a 30-degree swing from morning to afternoon, but we will tomorrow because we've got that cold morning and a pretty nice afternoon. Tomorrow's warmer than today. We go to 68. Beautiful. Tomorrow's the best day in the forecast. 68 degrees. The wind that we've had is gone. It's out of the west at 5 to 10. Sunshine. I mean, it's really, really nice. So whatever you start the day with will be long gone by the afternoon as we see that warmer weather roll in. Okay, so that's the stuff in the near term. Now let's look ahead a little bit more. I want to show you the rest of this week. So again, tomorrow looks to be, in my opinion, the pick day of the entire 7-day forecast. It's a showstopper. Thursday's pretty close. Mid-60s, light winds. We start cool, and then it warms up close with mid-60s. Most of the day sunny, but late Thursday is going to start to see some clouds fill in, and that's ahead of what comes our way by Friday. So Friday, we're first warning you that if you have plans outside, they could be disrupted by rain. We're watching a rain chance on Friday. This one is our computers are kind of arguing and quibbling about how this one's going to play out. There's some new information that I see with it. So I don't want to make it sound, and I certainly would not recommend that you should cancel your plans on Friday. I wouldn't do that. But it's worth watching, and you should know about it if, rain would impact your day on Friday, because there's a decent chance that it will. We've got cloudy skies and we've got temperatures in the upper 50s. So here's a map for tonight. 38 in Kansas City, looking at 35, 36 up north, 34 in Maryville. And if you're wondering, why are we talking about frost? Frost is a form of ice, and we're not even hitting the freezing mark. It's because the temperatures that we report and the ones that we forecast are taken at about 5 feet above the ground. And it's a little bit warmer at 5 feet above the ground than it is at the very ground level. Cold air is more dense and it sinks. So while it may be 34 as the official low temperature by tomorrow morning in Maryville, or 35 in St. Joe, then at ground level, down where the plants are, it's actually freezing. It's 32, 31, something like that. So if that confused you or if you wondered. Normal low is 44, so we're well below normal. And we have back-to-back rounds of 30s. Thursday morning, again, is going to bring upper 30s. It's pretty close which one's going to be cooler, but I think Wednesday wins by just a bit. Then we're done with the 30s. All right, so the nights and the mornings warm up into the 40s and 50s as we go into the weekend. So 48 by Friday morning, and there comes that next system. All right, so that's that first warning. So let's talk about that rain on Friday. Here's how it looks to me right now. Scattered rain. The strongest signal is in the afternoon and evening. I'm not guaranteeing that we couldn't see morning rain. Again, this thing's kind of all over the map here, but mainly afternoon and evening. What's new today? Oops, let me go back to that. Sorry. Here we go. Here's what's new today. Is the rain's looking lighter to me for Kansas City. There was a point where it was looking like this was going to pass right over Kansas City and be a good, pretty heavy-duty soaker with some good rain to it. But the trend today, and I started to see it yesterday, is that it's pulling to the south. And I showed you that. If you watched at 5, 6, and 10 on KCTV and you were joining us here yesterday, we were talking about this trend, this comparison. And if it trended south, we'd have less rain. If it trended north, we had more rain. Well, the trend has been south, and from what I see right now, everything is going that way. I don't really even have a second scenario at the moment. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't come back, but we're getting closer to Friday, and things are starting to come into better light and better focus. So I don't think we're going to get a big smack of rain. So lighter, but still, let me show you what it looks like. All right, this is one of our 2 primary workhorse long-range computer forecasts. And this one updated on us this afternoon, and it's the wettest of all of them, all right? So for what that's worth. There's Friday morning. We kind of get clipped on the northern edge of this system. Where it was looking to pass right over, now we're on the northern side. And the northern side, you always have to fight drier air. It tends to reduce how much rain you end up getting. So what it looks like to me is that we will see this try to punch in throughout the day from the south, all right? So there's back Friday morning. Now we're going, could we have rain in the morning? Yeah, we could. But just in my experience and from what I see on other computer forecasts, which I'll show you a second one here in a moment, we'll compare them, is that it's going to have a difficult time really making its way this far north until the afternoon and evening. Now, by the time we get 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, we'll probably have some scattered showers around Kansas City and points and around. And then into our Friday evening, there you go, 10, 11. It's not all the time. It's kind of in and out, and up to Saturday morning. Now, by Saturday morning, it's starting to thin. We're on the back side of it. By Saturday afternoon, it should be pulling out. So we might start Saturday with a bit of rain, but I don't have a first warn on Saturday at this point. So that's one of our 2 computer forecasts. Now let me show you another one. Now notice how this one, if you see, I've got both of them on, and now just the new one. See how it's trended farther south? All right, let's see how this one plays out. Struggling for the morning mainly dry. There comes the afternoon, and it's trying to fill in, but notice it's having a harder time. Still, by the evening, rain is around in Kansas City and surrounding areas, just scattered. And then here's Saturday morning, and we start the day with a little bit of rain before it starts to move out by Saturday afternoon. So there's 7 o'clock. So that's kind of the range right now. Neither one of them to me look like they're going to be all day big heavy rain events, but scattered, especially afternoon and evening showers on Friday. Here comes the weekend. Saturday, watch for some spotty morning rain or drizzle. 61 and cloudy for the afternoon. And then Sunday, right now I've got it dry and 63 breezy. Neither day's pretty. We've got gray skies, with these back-to-back systems. Another one's coming in next week. So it just keeps us with gray skies and kind of cool, not necessarily gorgeous outside. And a rain chance on Saturday or breezes on Sunday. Take your pick. Neither day's bad. Neither day is beautiful. You can get outside on either day. The picture out there this evening. Let's see what temperatures are doing. They're going to cool quickly tonight. We're already down to the 50s, 55 in Kansas City. We were in the 60s not long ago. But watch this, again, how quickly tomorrow is going to warm up. I mean, we go from the 30s to the 40s to the 50s to the 60s by lunchtime. I mean, it's no time. We're throwing on 10 degrees left and right. Again, beautiful blue skies tomorrow. Not a cloud to be found hardly. There's that light west wind at 5 to 10, and we're actually a little bit above normal. Normal high is 65. We go to 68. We've got 70s in spots like Lawrence and Ottawa. Low 60s to the north. Good looking day. And here's that 7-day. There we go. Okay. Look, notice our nighttime temperatures. We're in the 40s and 50s. The rain chance for Friday, 50%. The rain chance for Saturday, 30%. Sunday right now is dry. And let's get you full screen and talk about what's coming next week, because we've got Monday Night Football. Arrowhead Chiefs taking on the Commanders. And we've got this. So this is one system that affects both Monday and Tuesday. 67 on Monday. Monday does look windy, I will say that. And let's show you the rain. So here's the system. And this one has updates too, where yesterday it was looking like it would be Monday 5 o'clock start time, potentially for showers and maybe some thunderstorms. Now it's delayed a little bit. The beginning of it is kind of like during the game is when it could start, although you see a little bit of an eastward shift there for what that's worth. And then into Monday night and Tuesday now. So this thing's trying to move in quicker and move out by, not until Tuesday. This is 7 p.m. So it's like coming in fast and then stalling, and it brings more rain into Tuesday. And Tuesday down into the 50s, and it also has that rain chance too. So we got to see exactly when's that thing going to arrive, and how, once it gets here, how long is it going to dawdle? How long is it going to linger? So, but we have a decent rain chance both Monday evening. Right now it does look like evening, Monday night, and into Tuesday. Okay, let's see if we've got any questions I can answer here. Are we ever going to get above the 60s again? Yes. The general forecast for the fall continues to be warmer than normal. I think we're done with 80s. I think we're done with like that summery kind of feel. But we're still probably going to have a good number of days in the 70s. I don't have any in the forecast right now. Tomorrow's going to be the closest one that you get. But I see another shot of cool air coming by the end of the month, by the day before Halloween, something like that. But yeah, we're really pretty confident we're going to have a number of 70s left to go, or 60s, and certainly 60s and 70s. Let's see what else. That looks like it for now. Okay, everybody. Hope this was helpful for you. I'll have new information coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll see what else pops up, and anything else that I see that you need to know, I'll tell you as soon as I see it. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a good night.